Damn you switch pod.
Yes, sir.
Boys are back. New year, new us. We're back in January or January as some call it. Yeah, back to give you those rugby opinions. How are you, Chris?
No, I'm good. Quarters good. Good to be back in the seat. Yeah, we just got to do it, man.
The hot seat, giving those opinions. So guys owing Bonang 300,000. We need to be careful what we say here.
Yeah, well, but at the end of the day, it's just our opinions, you know. So, and we commenting on what we see on the field of play. That's. Yeah. I think there's a difference, you know. So, yeah, I think we're
bringing guys' name into disrepute, but it's the opinions of the people. It's the opinions of the people. We must give them what they want.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and let's start off. Let's talk some Currie Cup. Then we'll get into some previews for URC. Currie Cup. I'm a Currie Cup man myself. It's my brand. I love it.
Yeah.
Some teams taking it more seriously than others. Some teams, you know, I think Western Province and the Lions, they have been called into question a bit. Western Province maybe thinking that the Bulls taking it too seriously. Others thinking that the Lions aren't taking it seriously enough. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think that it's just different needs and requirements for the different unions, you know, based on the person that they have, you know. And I think probably for rosters to actually the top tier players, whereas maybe more because they may need them more in the URC because it's running at the same time. So yeah, you can understand, you know, but I still think they're all taking it seriously. I mean, it's our bread and butter, like you say. It's our brand, you know. So I think all the teams, you know, and we see it with the so-called smaller unions, you know, really gunning in the Currie Cup, and that's what it's about. That's what we want to see, and that's where new talent, new stars, you know, they're coming through.
Yeah, new stars coming through. I mean, if we have, you know, just touch on a few of the games. I think the opening game was the Pumas versus the Bulls. Unfortunate with that one, wet weather, difficult to play. It couldn't really get started. Takeaways from that one is Lucky Klepu. You know, he came on around, I think, 60 minutes. You know, some sparks there. He reignited the team. I think Malembe Mpofu as well. He came on injury sub, and I think that game and the game against the Lions, he made it be known that he's on the scene.
Yeah, and I think the Pumas is a perfect breeding ground, you know, for a team for up and coming players that are really serious about their craft, you know, to showcase their skill. And I think what we've seen in the Pumas over the years, a lot of the guys that come through, they take their opportunities, they announce themselves, and, you know, it becomes very difficult to ignore them for long. And I say it's good to see, you know, it's very good to see.
Yeah, very good to see. Lions, get your act together. There's some more guys we need contracted from that union. If we do talk Lions, good signs against Western Province. I have to say, some of those young guys, I mean, they were scoring, they were getting the points on the board against Western Province. Good signs there, but Western Province, just too many experienced players. They've got Swiel, Daimani, Zas playing 13. Zas has been a revelation at 13.
Hey man. Look, no, hats off to him, you know, because you can see he's been working hard, you know, and look, it's paying off, and there's something about him there in that position, you know. So we'll take note, you know. We see him. But the Lions, you know, I think with the Lions, let's be patient. I think starting off, I'd like to say, you know, with the Lions, I'm so happy with the fact that they've given a young coach like Mzwakhe Nkosi a go as head man in charge, you know. So with that, you know, considering his age, I think let's just be patient, you know. Let's just be patient with the Lions in terms of what he's trying to do in the Currie Cup, you know.
I'm patient with him. I'm not patient with the union.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. But I'm just saying, let's be patient with the guy. You know, I think he'll bring in some excitement. You know, in the Currie Cup team, we'll see a lot of youngsters coming through. You know, he's done the time. He's earned his stripes. To be honest, you know, he got the opportunity and he's made the most of it. So you know, let's support him and give him time. I think the Lions, the union, like you say, and they need to really do something about their roster. I don't think they've got that balance yet with their roster.
No, you know, they don't.
I think that's their problem, really, because you do see some spatterings of talent there that you can see that, okay, you're not, but it's just, there's just some ingredients that are missing by the looks of it, you know.
And they can't even drop guys down from the URC team to go help because they don't even have guys in the URC team. That's easy. That's my issue. But I mean, some guys coming through there. Angelo David's also doing well for Western Province in the 2 games being played already. Those, I mean, ultimately they just show that they're big boys. Which was another theme in the Pumas versus the Lions game where they just showed. They just showed who the big boys are. I mean, early on they were again that one pass away, which must have been frustrating, you know, as a coach. But the thing on the Pumas side was it's 80 minutes of rugby, and eventually they just landed up getting them in a chokehold and bullying them.
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up, you know, and I think the hardest pill to swallow for the Lions, I think, in this game, although they lost, is that, you know, they only had 9 points to show for it, and they've been a team that's known to score tries, you know, and really, you know,
it was a regression from the Western Province game.
Yeah, so it's gonna take time, you know, I think, but they need to sort out the personnel stuff. I don't know. Their backline, you know, there's excitement there, but I think at 10 they need to really take a hard look, you know.
No, I mean, Vaughan Isaacs, I think he should be called up to the URC team, but that's we'll get to that. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Essentially, for them, you hold on until 15 minutes. I think it was only 3-0 up until 15 minutes. You finally get an attacking chance. You get a scrum just outside the 22. It's time for a set move, time to get things going. You cough up the ball, Puma's first try.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's it. I was promising for 15 minutes. And then it all fell apart. But like you said, his personnel, I mean, they brought in Ginter Smuts, but I mean, he's not that much older than the rest of the guys.
Yeah. Yeah, true. You know, but look, there's a lot of work-ons for them, definitely, you know. The thing is, between the Currie Cup and the URC performance of the Lions, you know, because, for example, against the Sharks, I think in the URC, they were much better. I think more settled, and I think even the coaching unit is a bit more settled as well, you know. So that's why I'm just saying that, like, I feel like just a little bit of patience, you know, at the Currie Cup side. You know, they'll find their balance, they'll find their feet. And I think it's just the matter of full faith in the head coach, you know, and let's see. I mean, it's the Currie Cup. Well, now it's not one in January, so I can't remember what Nas used to say. Currie Cup is not one in August, or is it whenever? But you know, now you don't win the Currie Cup in January, so it's still a long way to go. You know, so I think a lot of rugby still needs to be played.
Yeah, I think some other shout outs. I think it's the Greek was 10. Is it Zander Janssen van Rensburg? I think he's been a revelation. I think one of the bigger unions will come and fetch him. There's a few guys coming through. It's looking promising for other unions except for my own, but
no, but I think, like, with the Lions, you know, for example, like Abel van der Merwe, you see he's definitely not a bad acquisition, and he keeps on showing his quality, for example, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they're missing with Chituka not there. They're going to miss a lot of him as well, because he brings something different. I think there's just not that personality, man. If you know what I mean. When you look at that pack, then you take Chituka out of there, Vincent Chituka, then it's very difficult to see, like, who's the head honcho here, you know what I mean? Like, so I think there's a lot of growing for them, and I think we'll see. There'll probably be a lot of movement with during the season with them getting you guys in as they try to find their way.
Hopefully they were just trying to weather the storm of COVID, and then until they can get stands filled with supporters and start bringing in players. But I mean, if we talk about the last URC round, Sharks playing some good rugby, keeping the ball alive. Ultimately, that's what killed the Lions. Lions scored a lot of points, and they were in with a chance of winning it unbelievably at one stage. But main takeaway from this is that the Sharks, they can it seems like they can turn it on when they want to. But the problem is the Lions as well. They can turn it on when they want to as well. And they got a bit physical with the Sharks, and Sharks couldn't really keep them out. I don't know if it's because a bit of overconfidence for them that they had so many points scored on them. But I think main takeaway is that the Sharks, their playing style, the offloads, it seems like they've got it going. Ben Tapuai, Lucanio forming a center partnership there.
Yeah, it's looking good, ball in hand. I think as well, it's just when you're looking at that Sharks team, even just the roster that they have, they've got quite a big group, and a lot of quality, and I think obviously with the internationals that are there's a lot of you can see, man, that it looks like there's a good culture there, without being inside the camp, just from the outside looking in, it looks like there's good culture there. And they're pushing each other, and there's many leaders in that group as well, so that's a recipe for success, and man, they're looking good, and I'm excited to see more, of their play. I think one of the concerns for me would be around defense, because it's all well and good scoring all the points, but I think it'll be interesting to see how the South African rugby picture develops once we start playing the Northern Hemisphere teams, because I think we need to be very, very cautious, in terms of how we want to play against them, because what you've seen is that those teams are very good at taking the opportunities and punishing, and you don't want to keep the door open, and let teams score points as well. But I think they'll work it out. I think maybe just as they get used to each other defensively, more games, then we'll see. But it's definitely exciting.
Stormers Bulls, a bit of pre-match banter by the Bulls media team landed up backfiring. But I mean, I love it. I really love that kind of thing. Stormers, again, that culture of hanging in the game, and then they took their chances. It looks like Herschel Yanchis is back. Haaland, he's been back, but he's continuing to knock on that door. Yeah, I mean, it's looking promising for them, not as promising for the Bulls. But I mean, the Bulls did play some good rugby at times. So I mean, the Bulls are always going to be the Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls will always be the Bulls, And I think, look, at some stage, somebody was going to knock the Bulls over at home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, And the Stormers, I think, look good on them because, geez, we've been looking for them to show something, and okay, finally now that ability to hang on has translated in a sort of in a big win for them, away from home. So we can only hope for them that they can sort of kick on from there and start playing well, and you never know, maybe John Dobson has found a way, to turn things around, him and his management. We'll see, because it's still early doors, it's really still early doors, but with them winning, I think it puts everybody on alert, because in South Africa, I think any team can beat any team on any given day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's exciting about our local derbies. But you know, I just keep on going back to the fact that, you know, it's going to become a different story when we play, when the Northern Hemisphere comes into the picture. You know, it's...
But you know how it is. It's like fighting with your brother. You don't go 100%. We're not... Yeah. We're not going 100% here. We're not fighting strangers.
True. You know, so I get that, you know, but I just think as much as that intensity is there, I think the technical side of it, you know, in how the game gets blown up there and, you know, the pictures that those referees want to see. I think from my side, that's just really all that I'd like to see, you know, from our teams is that growth in that aspect where they're able to put pressure and convert more and just get that conversion rate a bit higher, you know, to be more clinical, because then that would show, you know, there's a healthy sort of upward trajectory for our teams. But we'll see. Like I said, there's still a lot of rugby to be played.
Yeah, a lot of rugby to be played. Manny Lubbock there doing great as well.
Oh, yes. I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Let's talk this week. Opening game, we've got Bulls versus the Lions. If we talk Bulls, look at their team. I mean, Ambrose Papier, he's been, he's really been on form. I think he's come back to life and he's been heavily involved as in Currie Cup and in URC, which is good to see.
Yeah, I'm happy. He's you know, I think he's weathered the storm. He's been through his trials and tribulations. You know, he's faced the bad weather. You know, now
cue the gospel music.
You know what I mean? So now he needs to take it, you know, because he needs to take that opportunity. I think throughout this sort of competition, you look at the youngsters that are coming through, guys that are getting a chance. You're talking about Ambrose, Grant Williams there for the Sharks. You know, he's looking to put the pressure on. It's and especially if there's that, if we are to believe the sort of the reports in, I think probably earlier on in the month about the Springboks using local players, you know, this year in the interview tour. There's a lot to play for these guys, you know, going into the June series and the end of year tour. You know, there's
Matanzima is the one. Yeah, he's kicking that door down.
Yeah, he is. I've got him down here. You know, I think it's good to see him. I think he's got this consistency about him. You know, like even though, you know, maybe in previous seasons there'd be those errors, you know, but it wasn't those big costly errors, if I can put it like that. But he's getting better and better, you know, and he just hasn't dropped his levels, you know. So
I know that, and the thing I love most about him is he's however many minutes he's on, he gives it full.
Yeah,
he plays like a bull. He plays like a bull, like, you know, he doesn't go down without a fight, and you know, it's good to see those two guys making some inroads towards that Bok jersey. Cannon Moody as well. I think he's been okay for them coming in at the wing. Good debut. Curtly Arendse, it's like he never has a bad game. So I mean, Bulls team that, I mean, they lost, but it's not looking down at all.
Yeah, so you know that I think it's going to be very difficult for the Lions. You know, I believe, you know, look, a lot will have to go wrong for the Bulls, and just in my view, you know, in terms of where they're at, it'll be a fight for sure. You know, it's always a fight, you know. So, but yeah, I think the Bulls just have too much experience, and you know.
Yeah, they've got too much. I mean, if you look at the Lions team, Willem Albert's coming in, young Chituka starting, more of the same for them. I'll just go on record and say Fred Zeilinger at 10 and Evil for Yoon at 15. we'll continue to be the most unserious franchise in South Africa when they're playing in those two. Him at 15, him at 10. We need to do something, even just move them around, maybe anything. But as long as you can't keep on doing it's that definition of insanity. We're doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Zelinga at 10 and Viljoen at 15, is this not going to work?
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I'm glad you brought it up. But because outside of that, when you look at the rest of that backline, you know, the rest of that backline actually it looks good. Yeah, I looked at the team sheet today and I saw, and I was just like, geez, just, you know, 10 and 15. Where those guys to actually complement the rest? You know, because when you look at the rest of the backline, you're thinking, man, this is a fire backline, but they need supporting crew. You know, they need the general there. And yeah, man, you know, I think Fred he's always been hot and cold. You know, I don't remember, and look, I don't remember a period where Fred Zelinga has put on like a consistent showing of domination where it's like, hey, you know, Fred Zelinga, he's just been good enough, but sometimes that's not enough, you know.
It's not enough. Even bring up Isaacs from the Currie Cup team, anybody, please. Or even move Viljoen back to 10 like he was in URC. All I know is that this, as it stands, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, next game, let's talk Stormers versus your boys. Stormers team, they'll be on a high. I think. Yeah, strong team. Nothing really stands out for me. It seems just like more of the Stormers. They should look to kick on from the high. I mean, training should have been good this week.
Yeah, you know, I really think so. And what you'd expect is that they need to back it up. You know, they need to back it up. And I think just by the looks of it, you know, there's a lot of talk about the former Stormers boys in Kolisi and Bonambi and whatnot. So I think they're trying to G themselves up, you know, for the game, you know, and look, for them, you can only hope that they do kick on, you know, and actually show some level of consistency. And then we'll, from the Sharks' point of view, just, you know, in my opinion, I think it's really more of the same, but they need to they need to be a bit more sort of guarded, particularly on defense, because with the Stormers, you see they can hang in there, you know, and if you leave the door open for them, they'll take the chance. You know, we've seen it countless times. We know about them. So yeah, I think this one is going to be a very interesting game, tight one. But I still think, you know, I think the Sharks we can bring this one through.
Yeah, Sharks squad just looks stacked. You've got that back front row. Buthelezi continues to you know, put guys on their backside. Center combination. It's a frightening sight when there's a point where even for you, you've got you've got Fasi coming into the line, and you've got Mapimpi.
Yeah.
You know, it's a scary sight. It's a scary sight. So, I mean, I don't envy guys on the other side of that. So, I mean, I think the Sharks will take this one. Let me get your predictions for the weekend. Let's start with the Bulls game.
Yeah, I know. I think Bulls this one, they should take it, let's say maybe by 15, I think. You know, 15.
Yeah, I think I'm going. It's not going to be 50 points. It's not going to be 50 points like the Pumas, but it's going to be something close. I mean, I'm sure the Lions will get some points, but I'm going to go about a 30-10, around 30-10.
Yeah. Okay.
Next game, what have you got?
Oh, I think this one will be much tighter. I think Sharks by 8 or less.
Yeah, I've got Sharks by 15. Sharks by 15. I think they'll run away with it at the end like they did with the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't know, man. The Stormers, look, with Andrew David's there, he brings something different. You know, Willemse looks like he's also now, he's starting to breathe freely, you know, and you mentioned Herschel. and then you've got Galant on the bench. And once those guys, once they start humming nicely, it can be dangerous, because they're good attacking players. So that's why I'm cautious, and yeah.
Any closing remarks?
No, man. I think we've said it all. We're just looking forward to this weekend's rugby. It's a long season ahead, so yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. Dummy Switchboard, first episode. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.